We can distinguish between three bookkeeping principles to help us understand the macroeconomic accounting system: vertical double entry, horizontal double entry, and quadruple entry bookkeeping. Vertical double entry bookkeeping ensures that the total of all credit entries and that of all debit entries are equal for all economic flows. This principle permits a check on the consistency of accounts for a single unit, a subsector, or a sector. For example, let's say Unit A purchases an asset from Unit B and pays for it by cash. In Unit A's books, we would thus record a debit entry that shows the acquisition of the asset and a credit entry that shows the decrease in the cash of Unit A. In Unit B's books, we will record a credit entry that shows the disposal of the asset and a debit entry that shows the increase in the cash of Unit B. Each transaction requires two entries, but it is possible to have more than two entries for a transaction, such as when we do partitioning. Partitioning records a single transaction from the perspective of the parties involved as two or more differently classified transactions. For example, when a general government unit acquires an asset below or above its current market price, the division of the actual transaction into an exchange and a transfer is partitioning. Other economic flows also require a debit and a credit entry, but these flows have their counterpart entries directly in changes in net worth. Vertical double entry bookkeeping ensures the fundamental identity of a unit's balance sheet. That is, the total value of assets equals the total value of liabilities plus net worth. The total value of assets owned by an entity minus the total value of liabilities owed is equal to its net worth. Horizontal double entry bookkeeping ensures the consistency of recording by the counterparties of each transaction or other economic flow category. Going back to our example where Unit A purchases an asset from Unit B, in horizontal double entry bookkeeping, this means that the value of the asset that Unit B records as sold in its books should equal the value of the asset that Unit A records in its books as purchased. The same would apply for the value of the cash paid and received in Unit A and B's books respectively. If we apply both the vertical and horizontal double entry bookkeeping simultaneously, we get quadruple entry bookkeeping. This is what is done in the system of national accounts. In contrast to vertical double entry bookkeeping, the SNA deals with interactions among a multitude of units in parallel. As a result, this requires special care from a consistency point of view. The liability of one unit is mirrored in a financial asset of another unit. Therefore, this liability and financial asset should be identically valued, allocated in time, and classified to avoid inconsistencies in aggregating balance sheets of units by sectors or for the total economy. The same is true for all transactions and other flows that affect the balance sheets of two counterparties. Let us return to our example. In Unit A's books, we have recorded the purchase of the asset consistently with a debit and a credit entry of equal value. In addition, we have recorded the same transaction consistently in Unit B's books. The overall result is that there is consistency between the books of Units A and B. External sector statistics, government finance statistics, and monetary and financial statistics are based on the vertical double entry bookkeeping principle, while the SNA applies the quadruple entry principle.